It's interesting that when Adam sinned, he knew how to lie very quickly.
Yes.
He'd never heard, now Adam had never heard anybody tell a lie. He never heard you know, someone said, well, you get them in it's because of the peer group. Adam's peer group never taught him to lie. He never knew what a lie was, but the moment he ate of the fruit, he knew how to lie. And his first lie was, I was naked. I hid myself because I was naked. That was a lie. He was not naked. He had just made himself garments of fig leaves. They had just covered themselves with a fig leaf garment. They didn't take them off when they heard God's voice coming. They were still in that fig leaf garment. But they said, we hid ourselves because we were naked. His first lie. And then they got another thing that Adam learned very quickly. How to pass the buck. How to make excuses. I mean, who did Adam blame? You got it right. Most people don't get it right. Most people say he blamed his wife. No, he blamed God. The woman that you gave me, God, you've got to take a bit of responsibility in this, man. You've got to take a bit of responsibility. I mean, I was all right. I was quite happy in the garden. I was giving all those lambs. I saw a big animal with a trunk. I thought, oh yeah, I'll call him an elephant. I saw another one with a big neck, and I called him a giraffe. I saw one with a big mouth. I call him golden brown. No, I won't. So. He learned to pass the buck. I've listened to politicians over the last few weeks passing the buck, trying to blame everybody else as they try to get around their own conniving ways and their own corruption. But Adam died the moment that he ate. A man, and this is where man stands today. Let's take a look at the result of the fall. Sin came into the world, and every person born is a sinner. You don't become a sinner, you are born a sinner. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so death passed upon all men, for all have sinned. Romans 5:18 to 19. Therefore, as by the offence of one judgment came upon all men to condemnation, even so by the righteousness of one the free gift came upon all unto justification of life. Mankind is totally depraved. Yeah. Now, what do I mean by total depravity? What do I mean by total depravity? I have to explain these terms. Total depravity, I don't need a microphone. Total depravity does not mean that you are as bad as you could be. That doesn't mean that there are any good people in the world. But it meant that, for instance, every one of you, before you became a Christian, was pretty bad. But you could have been a lot worse, couldn't you? Yes. You could have been like Adolf Hitler, killed 6 million Jews. You could have got a gun and gone into a classroom. You see, that total depravity does not mean that you are as bad as you could be. In fact, there's only one person that is restraining the evil that could happen, and that's God. Because man in this depravity is capable of doing worse than he is doing. It's only the restraining power of God that stops him. But total depravity means this, that you are as bad off as you can possibly be. Not that you are as bad as you can be, but that you are as bad off as you can be, because you are alienated from God. because you are in a lost condition, because you are on your way to a lost eternity, because hell awaits unless a person comes in encounter with the only person that can save them from hell, which is Jesus Christ. They are on their way to a lost eternity. Man is as bad off as he can be. That's what we mean by total depravity. The Bible tells us that there are none that are profitable. Romans 3 verse 12. They are all gone out of their way. They are altogether become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good. Now wait a minute, David McKivett. You say there are none that doeth good. Now wait a minute. I know some people. They're helping out on charity work. They're going out into Africa, third world countries. They're laying down their life. They're trying to relieve the suffering. And, well, they are doing good. Well, let me ask you, what are you measuring good by? Who decides what is good and what is not good? You see, some people may appear good to you just because they happen to be a little bit better than you are. Just because they happen to be doing a little bit more than you. And there are things that can look good in the eyes of man. If I go to Africa or some other country and I help the poor in that country, then in the eyes of a man, I am doing good. But in the eyes of a holy, righteous God, my righteousness is as filthy rags, and my good is just filth and dirt. In the eyes of man, you know, when Adam made the fig leaf garments, he looked good to Eve. When Eve put on her fig leaf garments and covering, I can imagine she looked really good. I can just see Eve going out to Adam and saying, what do you think, Adam? Give us a twill. Oh yes. Oh yes. You see, there are people that can look good to you, but God sees the heart. God knows what is in man, and what is in man is an abomination unto God. There are none that doeth good. In the eyes of a holy God, there are none that doeth good, no, not one. Adam's garment looked good to Eve. Eve's garment looked good to Adam. But when the holy God came, they had to run.